Jared here down at Cedar Point for the last weekend of the 2019 regular season, and I'm down here to film my 2019 Halloweekends preview. I can't believe fall's already here. We've already started doing Halloween events. A couple weeks ago we were at Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, and I'll put that in the description below. Next weekend we'll be at Halloween Horror Nights 29 in Orlando, and then after that, less than 2 weeks away, we'll be Halloweekends 2019. So we're going to be doing quite a bit of Halloween stuff again this year. I can't wait. It is Labor Day weekend and it is absolutely packed here. Now what I want to do today is walk around the park and preview Halloweekends 2019. We're going to talk about all the haunted houses, show where the haunted houses are, talk about the scare zones and where they are. There are no new haunted houses this year, nor scare zones. The only thing that they've done as far as the haunts are concerned is they have sort of made upgrades or changes to Cornstalkers. Calling it Cornstalkers 2.0 this year, and they're going a sort of a killer pumpkin or theme inside of Cornstalkers, and we'll talk about that when we get to it. The other thing I want to do is talk about where all of the great Pumpkin Fest stuff is going to be and what they're going to have to offer for the young kids. Now while there may be no new haunted houses or scare zones this year, it looks like Cedar Point's placing an emphasis on live entertainment. So there seems to be a few new musical acts, as well as a battleground type thing going on in Celebration Plaza. So far up here at the front of the park, the only thing I see Halloweekends ready are those little banners that they've got hanging from the Eldridge Theater and the Bayou refreshment stand. Back again for 2019 will be Zombie High School, and during the day for the kiddies, Zombie Junior High School, and I'll talk about Zombie Junior High in a minute. But this will be the very first haunt you come to at Cedar Point. It is right directly next to the entrance gate. You just kind of walk in and it'll be the very first haunt on your left. It's a pretty good haunt. It's been here for, I don't know, 3-4 years now, maybe 5. They don't have anything out quite yet for Zombie High School, but usually they'll have a nice big giant school bus right here full of zombies. On Saturdays and Sundays during the day, they transform Zombie High School into Zombie Junior High School for all the kiddies. It is basically a fun lights on walkthrough of Zombie High School with some little school type challenges for the young kids. Now last year I did go through it with my kids and they did cover up a lot of the gorier props, so you should be safe bringing anybody in. One of the things Cedar Point has been doing the last few Halloweekends is they've been making slight alterations to their rides, or rather their queue lines of their rides, and sort of renaming them. And one of the things they have been doing is they rename Ocean Motion into Ocean Potion, and they end up dyeing all this water here by Ocean Potion. They haven't done it yet. I know it looks a little rusty, but that's not the dye. Now, I don't know what color they're gonna do it. Seems like the first year they did it, it was red, and then the last couple years it's been green. I'm not even gonna predict what they're gonna do for this year. I'm a little nervous though so far because they don't have anything in the front of the park, and there is less than 2 weeks to go before opening night. So it's a little curious. Just slightly down from Zombie High School is the Eldridge Theater, and the significance here is this is where the Midnight Syndicate show is going to be. The Midnight Syndicate show is pretty cool. They actually decorate the stage really well, and the band is up there playing live. And after the show, you can actually buy some of their CDs. As you can see here in the midway, they are starting to put up a few decorations. They at least have this horse-drawn hearse, as well as some temporary lighting towers. So these lighting towers are no doubt going to be used not only to light up the stuff in the midway, but typically they also do some projections on the ground. So I'm over here getting a closer look at these horses, and I've noticed that they're plastic, kind of like the ones you can buy in the store, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's just I do know that they have some latex horses that they use, usually back in Tombstone territory though. To be honest, I'm going to double check my videos from last year. It seems like maybe this entire prop was back in Tombstone territory. And pretty much as far as the midway is concerned, that hearse is the only prop they have out yet. But I assure you, they're going to put a lot of stuff out in these little areas here in the middle of the midway. So in the last couple of years, usually in the midway, they set up some pretty cool looking graveyards. I'm pretty sure they'll probably continue that tradition this year. Although last year, they also had some gigantic skeletons in one of them. Here, over here by the Blue Streak and the Raptor, they have started to set up a stage that is going to house a Gorgalore Stalk-Around costume that is actually animated. So it dances to spooky songs. So right next to the gatekeeper is the location for Hex Haunted House. or Hex Lights Out is what it's going to be this year. It is a witch theme haunted house, and it is completely dark. They give you a flashlight to walk through it. It's sort of the new thing they started doing last year, and it looks like they're going to continue to do it this year. Also here in Hex Haunt during the day, on Saturdays and Sundays, is going to be Hexed Spellbound, I think is what they're naming it, but it's another kid-friendly haunt where they're not going to do any scaring. They're just going to walk through. They're going to give you like a black light, and you're going to walk through it, look for clues, and just have little fun things. This is the only kid one we didn't make it through next year, so I'm not 100% sure what all they do during the day for Hexed. It is at least encouraging that they have the columns and sign out for Hexed, because I don't see a whole lot of other things so far for Halloweekends. As you can see right here across from the Valraven, we are at our third haunted house location, Eerie Estates. Now this is one of the oldest haunted houses here at Cedar Point. It's sort of a mansion theme haunted house. I don't really think there's any gore. It's not too intense, but it's a fun haunt. I enjoy it. You can see they have the queue line entrance getting set up for Eerie Estates. I've always liked this little sort of a gazebo type thing with all these busted up skeletons that have definitely seen better days. So Eerie Estate is the third and final haunted house that'll be open during the daytime for a sort of kid-friendly experience. And during the day it is called The Mystery of Eerie Estate, and it is sort of a, kind of like Clue. A crime's been committed and you get to walk through the haunted house with the lights on, looking for clues to discover which of the little characters that they have in there has committed the crime. But I do want to be clear that the three haunted houses that I mentioned, Zombie Junior High, Mystery of Eerie Estate, and Hexed Spellbound, are only kid-friendly until 4 p.m. on Saturdays and Sundays. At night, when the rest of the attractions open up, they're a regular scary haunted house, so just be aware of that. This is what's going to be new here at Halloweekends this year. They're advertising this as the Boneyard Battleground, and you can see they've got some cool props already going up. Let's take a look at this. Now this has got me pretty excited to see what exactly the Boneyard Battleground is going to be. There is going to be a few music acts back here battling it out for supremacy. And the names of those are going to be Toxicity, Raging Inferno, and Skin and Bones. They're also advertising something called the Dead End Kitchen Alley back here. It's going to be a bunch of food trucks. Now, actually, now that I'm kind of back here looking, I'm going to bet the food trucks, and this is just a guess, speculation, is going to be in this area, and the Boneyard Battleground is actually going to be up a little bit. Got a lot of potential back here. I don't know, man. Looks like this could be a cool thing that they're doing this year. So this part of the park is where they had Monster Jam Alley earlier in the year, so I like it. I see where they're going with their theming. It would really be a shame if they don't fill this full of actors and fog this year. But I don't think they're gonna, because it wasn't advertised on the site as being a sort of a scare zone or anything. But it would be nice to have some costume people just kind of walking around in general back here, even if you don't want them scaring people. I think it would really add to the ambiance. So this could be the Skin and Bones rehearsing for Halloweekends Boneyard Battleground. That looks awesome. There you go, Boneyard Battleground. That's pretty clever. I like their little theme tables they're gonna have back here. Awesome. As you can see, they've already converted the stage over for this Halloweekend event. They've got a second little temporary stage back here that they've got some people getting ready to rehearse on. I don't see a third one, so I'm not sure if they're going to, the three bands are going to share two stages, or if one band actually gets the giant stage. I think it's got a lot of potential back there. Now I'm going to admit I wasn't overly excited when I read the lineup for Halloweekends this year, because none of the haunts were going to be different. But after seeing the Boneyard Battleground, I'm real excited. I'm real interested to see what Cedar Point's gonna do with this. It looks like it's got, like I said, a lot of potential. It's always fun to see the Halloweekends hearse come out. Now they're advertising 6 outdoor scare zones. Really it's 3 outdoor scare zones and 3 walk-through outdoor attractions, sort of like a haunted trail. Because 3 of them you can only go one direction, and they're very much like a haunted trail, not a scare zone. But whatever. Right here, before we head into the Frontier Trail, you can see the red Garter Saloon. And this year, this is going to be home to the Happily Never After music show. Now this is going to be a themed musical act where they play some classic rock and glam rock songs with a twist. It's a pretty fun show. I think the Happily Never After might be new, but I have seen them do similar stuff in here before. And here we go heading into the Frontier Trail, and this year it's going to be home to the Trail of the Forsaken Scare Zone. This Scare Zone was new last year. Now they've got the bungee scare set up here. Now this is kind of fun. These are the little boxes that they stick their fog machines in so you don't see them. Well, so far I haven't seen anything set up for the Trail of the Forsaken yet, but we're gonna keep our eyes peeled. Well, other than that bungee scare and then all of their fog machines they got out here. Well, I certainly do hope they end up putting more out in the Trail of the Forsaken this year. Haunted house number 4, we're gonna walk up to the queue line entrance in a second, but from back here you can see in front of Slaughterhouse, they've got the Pumpkin Spectacular surrounds staged and getting ready to stick out. So they have the facade up here for Slaughterhouse. Skidmark Slim's Roadkill Buffet. You know, I have not noticed in the past whether or not that's what it was called. I'm gonna assume it is. It's just a little detail that I had overlooked until right now. Also, I think that's the exit to Cornstalkers. Or actually, no, you know what? I had this exact conversation last year when I did this. The exit to Cornstalkers is right there. As you can see right there next to the petting zoo barn, and that is part of the attraction Cornstalkers. Looks like I got some new wood up there. So last year I was able to get up here on Thunder Canyon and kind of look into where the Cornstalker area was going to be to get a preview, but this year they've got it padlocked. So you can't see kind of the tops of some construction work going on down there in Cornstalkers. Probably just setting up the walls to put all the corn on. Kind of disappointing I can't get up there to see what's going on. As you can see the sign, Thunder Canyon is closed as we prepare for Cornstalkers 2.0, Revenge of the Pumpkinheads. I'm gonna imagine that what they've done is sort of combined Cornstalkers with their Pumpkin Eater Scare Zone over at Kings Island. That's kind of what I'm expected. And you can also see they don't have the facade for Cornstalkers up yet. Now, this is where it's been in the past, so I assume it's going to be here again this year, but I guess you never know. They may change things up. Now, I will say this is part of the queue line for Cornstalkers 2.0. Now, I'm not sure why, but this always seems to have the longest line of all the haunted areas at Halloweekends, and I imagine it's going to be even worse this year because it is being advertised as 2.0, so everybody's going to want to see the new Cornstalkers. So just be aware of that. You're gonna wait a long time. This dude's getting ready for Halloweekends. And here we go back by Chick-fil-A, haunt number 5, Fairground Freak Show. This is one of the better haunts they have here. It looks pretty good inside. I like this one a lot. And as you can see, they got a dude out here in a dunk tank. Let's see if we can watch this guy get dunked. This is pretty fun. Let's see what this guy can do here. Boom! Into the water. So this is pretty neat back here today because they've actually got actors walking around and doing stuff. Sort of a really good Halloweekends preview. There we go. This guy looks like he belongs in Tombstone territory. And not only is this part of the facade, those are the actual haunt hours of when the haunted houses are running. But be aware, on Sundays, the outdoor areas and scare zones are not open, just the haunted houses. I'm really feeling the excitement for Halloweekends back here in this part of the park, for sure. Check out the Freak Show photo op. I'm gonna take my sunglasses off because it's all gray out. I wonder if they're just gonna kind of leave this out as it is until Halloweekends, or if this is just gonna be right here today and it's gonna get moved somewhere else. So we'll see. So what all the people in makeup in this dunk tank are doing today is they're recruiting actors for Halloweekends, and they're encouraging people to apply at cedarpoint.com/jobs. Still time. Heading over into the area where they're gonna have the Harvest Fear Scare Zone, and I don't see anything going up quite yet there, but we're gonna take a look anyhow. Well, they don't have the Harvest Fear stuff up yet, but they do have a couple little banners hanging from the Town Hall Museum. Interestingly enough, I did see that they're going to be redoing the Town Hall Museum for the Cedar Point 150th anniversary next year. We've also got some banners going up here. Now, I have never seen the witch or the actor that comes out on that balcony and does a little show. I've always missed it. Maybe I'll catch it this year. They haven't started putting anything up for Harvest Fear yet. Now, usually this area will be full of little carnival type booths and a bunch of actors running around. It looks really good, especially the gazebo there at night. Time to head over to where Tombstone Territory is going to be, as well as the last two haunted. See if they got anything out yet. Yeah, I don't see anything. Uh-oh. Well, they have at least one fog machine out here in Tombstone Territory, but I don't see any other props. Back here in Frontier Trail in Lusty Lil's Palace Theater, they're going to have Whistlin' Willie's Western Wake live entertainment show. I've never seen it. I don't know if it's new, but its description is, join Lusty Lil and the local townsfolk as they celebrate Willie's life. I imagine that's going to be a lot of fun. So this guy's out here all the time. He's one of the Boneville skeletons. But I'm showing you because that is what you're going to see a lot of in Tombstone Territory. A lot of stuff like this. And coffins, old-time Western hearses, stuff like that. It's a really cool scare zone. And I'm a little disappointed that they haven't started setting up for it, because I'd be excited to show you. So while they may not have any Tombstone Territory stuff going up yet, they have started putting up the Cutthroat Cove facades, including the pirate ship that sits outside the entrance to Cutthroat Cove. This is another one of the attractions that they've had for several years here, but it's a good one. I really do enjoy going through Cutthroat Cove, rather. So now we're gonna head over and get a look at our final inside haunted house, Deprivation. So to get to Deprivation, we gotta come back here to Steel Vengeance, which they just announced is currently a 3-hour wait and a 1-hour wait for Express Pass, so yikes. But anyway, come back here to Steel Vengeance, but turn this way and keep walking. So there is the entrance to Deprivation, and the building is actually located in the middle of Steel Vengeance. Let's get up there and get a look real quick. So Deprivation is completely dark inside. It's not bad. It's a little bit short for the wait, so just be aware of that. And it does usually end up being quite a wait because they send groups in pretty slow. But it's worth checking out. And here we are heading into the Gemini Midway, and the first thing we're gonna see here is they are all set up to do the Gypsy Fortune Tellers. Now, I'm not sure if there's a cost to do the Gypsy Fortune Tellers, or if you can just get in line and do it. I've never actually done it. So the other thing they have over here in the Gemini Midway is going to be the Fall Food Fest, which is going to be the area where you can come and get some fried donuts, turkey legs, spooky spuds, and I believe some specialty beers and drinks. Okay, the Monster is another one of the rides that they sort of alter for Halloweekends, but they call it the Friendly Monster. Basically, they just play kid Halloween songs, and they used to put those little silly faces on them, and I don't think they ever took them off. So back here by Backbeat Q, they're going to have another live entertainment. It's going to be called the Pumpkin Patches, and I'm not sure where the Pumpkin Patches are going to be. I'm not sure if they're going to be in this general area or if they're going to actually be in here in the eating area up on the stage. Now, I do believe the Pumpkin Patches are new this year, and I think they're going to be very similar to the Backbeat Quartet, except they're going to be doing Halloween favorite songs. As we start to head towards the Top Thrill Dragster from the Gemini Midway, this is the area that's going to be the beginning of the Great Pumpkin Spectacular. Now, we saw the surrounds over there by the slaughterhouse already, so I imagine they're going to start sticking them out pretty soon. They usually go all out in this area with the Great Pumpkin Spectacular. They have lots of carved pumpkins lit up, jack-o'-lanterns. They also do quite a bit of other decorations. So no, they have not stuck anything out yet for the Pumpkin Spectacular, and this is actually going to be one of the most impressive turnovers, or turnarounds, because there's a lot of stuff that's going to be going out for it. And finally, we come to the last attraction that's going to be at Halloweekends this year, Blood on the Bayou. This is another one that's been around for a while, but this one, it's really good. I really enjoy it. This is pretty fun. They have their houseboat out already for the Blood on the Bayou. This is one of the cooler set pieces they have here at Cedar Point, in my opinion. And it's hard to see, but inside that door, there's a really fun Unit 70 piece. So like I said, even though this one's been around for a while, it is a really fun attraction. Okay, that water's green, kind of like the Ocean Potion water. I wonder if they don't actually dye the water over there, and they just kind of transport some of this over to that location. As far as rides go, Blue Streak is the other one that they alter, or the last one that they alter for Halloweekends. They call it the Boo Streak. Admittedly, I don't know what it is they do different about it other than calling it the Boo Streak. I couldn't figure that out last year, but hey, it's going to be back this year. Now, during the day on Saturdays and Sundays from 11 to 7, they will have the Great Pumpkin Fest Charlie Brown going on. And it's going to start right here in the Kitty Kingdom, where you can do trick-or-treating with the Peanuts. Now they'll have various trick-or-treat stations set up that you can walk around and get treats. This year they've expanded it from 8 to 13 trick-or-treat stations. The other things they're going to have over here in Kitty Kingdom during the day is Pigpen's Corn Box, where they've got a gigantic sandbox type thing set up, but it's full of dried corn, as well as Woodstock's Cornstalkers, which is a nice little fun corn maze set up for the kiddies. Schroeder's Game of Skill, which I think that might be new, and I'm not entirely sure what that's going to be. It just looks like it's going to be a couple little games for the kids to play. And also new is going to be the Spooky Spiderweb Crawl. It sounds like it's going to be a bunch of giant nets that your kids can climb up and down on. Also over here, they're going to have Sally's Craft Cabin, as well as Marcy's Colorful Creations. There's going to be a couple stations set up to do arts and crafts with your kids. We are over here in the Lakeside Midway now. And there's going to be quite a bit of fun, great Pumpkin Fest entertainment over here as well. Charlie Brown's Challenge Course, which is kind of a cool dual path challenge courses they have set up where your kids can jump over nets, slide down slides, crawl through tunnels, that sort of thing, and they can race each other doing it. Also over here is going to be Franklin's Tractor Trek, which they set up this huge hay bale course, and you can get on these little pedal John Deere type tractors and race around the course. Also over here in this general area is going to be Peppermint Patty's Hay Bale Maze, where it is exactly how it sounds. It's going to be a maze made out of hay bales. It's a really fun maze. Also, they're going to do Linus's Mummy Pit, and I'll show you where it was last year. It was somewhere around here, and what that is it's a giant pit that they just fill with foam bubbles that your kids can run around in. I do believe they provide towels to dry off in, but it's a big hit. But it is a little bit messy, so just be aware of that. Last year, Charlie Brown's Challenge Course was exactly right here in the Lakeside Midway, so I would imagine they're going to do that again. Also over here is a Monster Mash Bash they do, where they have the Peanuts come out dressed in costumes and they play songs up on a stage for the kids to dance. And also advertised is new this year at the Hotspot stage, and I think that's the Hotspot stage, I'm not sure. But it's going to be a creepy crawly event that they're going to have in the park. And what that's going to be is the local zoos are going to bring in snakes, spiders, you know, sort of creepy little animals for your kids to look at. You're also going to be able to do a costume contest for the kids on Saturdays and Sundays. Now it's going to be pre-kindergarten at 2 o'clock, I think over here in this area, and at 2:45 it'll be for grade school kids. Over here by the Windseeker, I believe right here in the Lakeside Pavilion, they are going to be doing Night of the Living Fed this year. It is a sort of a buffet, all-you-can-eat buffet that you can do. That's going to be on Saturdays at 12 to 2 and 5 to 7. I've never done it, but it does look pretty interesting. It looks like sort of a all-you-can-eat themed buffet. I would imagine, but I'm not 100% sure, that they would have some costume characters running around, perhaps. So on Saturdays and Sundays before Halloween Haunt starts, pretty much everything in the park is open. But during Halloween Haunt, Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays, I think either after 7 or after 8, they do start to limit the amount of stuff that's open. However, Planet Snoopy in the past has always been open during the entire event. So if you do have kids that don't want to go through the haunted houses, but you're with people that do, you can hang out in Planet Snoopy. And while you're back here in Planet Snoopy during Halloweekends, you can do Snoopy's Spooky I Spy. I'm not entirely sure what that is, because it is one of the very few things that I did not partake in last year. Also back here in Planet Snoopy, Snoopy's Express Railroad is one of a few rides in Cedar Point that they kind of decorate up, kind of like Ocean Potion I was talking about earlier. What they do here is they put a couple fake skeletons in some of these cars for your kids to ride. It's a lot of fun. I've also noticed in the past at Planet Snoopy, they've had some costume characters, you know, Snoopy dressed up, whatever, doing songs here in this little area during Halloweekends, so keep an eye out for that as well. And part of Great Pumpkin Fest is Magical House on Boo Hill, and as you can see, that guy's ready to start letting people in. It ends up just being a kid-friendly walkthrough. At the end you used to get candy, and I think last year you got a little trinket. I'm not sure what they're going to be doing this year for it. Well, that's going to do it for our Halloweekends preview 2019. I can't wait. I really think that Boneyard Battleground is going to be pretty cool, and I can't wait to see some of the shows that I've missed, as well as Cornstalkers 2.0. I got a feeling that one's going to be pretty crowded. I'd love to hear if you're planning on going to Halloweekends 2019, or if you've been in the past. I'd like to hear what you think about the event. I'll be back for opening night, and you never know, maybe I'll run into you.